Hello everyone, it's Tangi from Papercrafting Australia. Thank you for joining me for another Crafternoon Box tutorial. We're here on another nice and sunny, overcast, crazy Melbourne weather day for another Crafternoon Box tutorial. This week we are going to be making a paper napkin card. So using paper napkins or serviettes as we like to call them in Australia for the background of the front of our card. So thanks for joining me. I'm just going to check in and make sure that we have everything working on our stream. So you might be joining us on YouTube or on Facebook. If you're in either of those channels, just pop in, say hello, let us know that you're here. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and thank you for joining us. I hope you have a great time making some projects with us today. So hello Tony, Tony says on YouTube, hello everyone, hope you're all safe and tucked securely at home. I'm having an awful time in pronouncing words today. I've been reading media stories to my partner all day and every time I stumble over words. So this is going to be fun. But thanks Tony for joining us. I hope you're safe and well in your area as well. We are back in lockdown in Melbourne. It's just this never-ending kind of thing. And unfortunately, just before we've come live today, we've had another exposure site listed near us where we live in our new place, and I'm gonna have to go and get a test after the stream today, which is what I'm kind of getting at. I visited our local supermarket within 4 minutes of the exposure listing, and I don't 100% trust the listings, so I'm going to go and get a test this afternoon. So if you are feeling any symptoms at all, or if you've been near any sites, I do encourage you to go and get tested. I've had both of my injections, so I am somewhat protected, but of course it doesn't stop me passing it on and getting sick a little bit myself. Hi, Shannon must be on, or Reagan is on. Some of the Ruddick clan, my nieces, are on today. Thanks for joining us, guys. Let's get into it. I think we've got Judy and Marie watching on Facebook. Thanks for joining us, ladies. Good to have you. Let's have a look at what we're going to be doing today. If I can just get my cameras in the right order. Here we go. Just move across to the other part of my desk. So this is the example card that I've made for us for today. So you can see it's got this gorgeous blue and white flower background, and we've got the happy birthday in a nice foil, so it's nice and blingy, and a couple of sequins on there as well. So this month we are using all shades of blue in our Crafternoon box. So just moving that napkin out of the way. So we've got this gorgeous dark blueberry colour, and that's one of the Craft Weave cardstock colours that you've got in your kits this month. We've also got the gorgeous coastal blue. We have got splash, which is one of my favourites, and we've got sky. So I decided, just with the colours that are in this paper napkin that we've provided in the kits, that the darker blueberry colour was going to work a little bit nicer for what I was trying to do. That's not to say that you can't do a traditional black border, and we've also got the white cardstock in the kits as well. So we are going to be making this gorgeous card. So I'm going to be showing you how we can use the napkins, and you can find them at all of your local stores. So you can get them at Spotlight, I've seen, and other homeware stores, and you can use those for your crafting as well. So sometimes it's really fun after Christmas. Christmas you get a lot of leftover napkins or serviettes, and also after birthday parties and things. So this is just a way that you can use up those extra ones that you might have laying around. We're also going to be doing some foiling. So what I am going to do is just reach across. I've got my laminator on the desk somewhere. Where's my on? Make sure it's on. No, it's on cold. So I'm just going to pop it onto hot because we're going to need that a little bit later. So if you're playing along, please pop your laminators on to warm. Oh, we've got Miss Reagan on. Hi, Reagan. Coming to do some crafternooning. We've got Lynn as well watching on Facebook. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so here we go. This is some bits that I prepared earlier. And I'm also going to be working today on my non-stick craft mat. So this is like a bit of a silicone mat. Comes in a tube. It's a Couture Creations one. We do sell it in the store. And I am going to be using this because I'm going to be getting quite gluey on my desk. I'm going to be using some Mod Podge today, but you can substitute that for just regular liquid white glue, PVA glue. So whatever you've got is totally fine. I've got a paintbrush, I've got my regular double-sided tape and double-sided foam tapes, got a little bit of white paper raffia, but you might want to use ribbon or anything else that you've got at home. And I've got our little packet of extras that came in the kit this week. So you've got a variety of different blue coloured sequins. Some are quite clear, some are holographic, some are like peacocks and they change colour. So I'm going to be using a couple of those to embellish today. So let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to cut my background layer, and I'm going to cut the layer that I'm going to use for the main part of our background. Hi Jenny, hi Deb, welcome, thanks for popping in. So these parts that I'm going to cut down, I just need to cut them down to, with my, I need my longer one for the blue. Let me just pop that out of the way. So the background, upside down, Miss Jane. I am all over the place today. I think I'm a bit rattled by the fact that, you know, we've been having COVID cases in our local area for the last few weeks, and we've dodged them by a day or so. But just having that one pop up today that is within 4 minutes of me being in the store, I'm just a little bit rattled. All right, so we'll cut the border. We're going to cut to 137 millimeters by 95 millimeters. So I know Miss Tony Bensley is going to be excited that we are living in the land of millimeters for our measurements today. So that's my 95. Pop that over there. And then we're going to go to 137. That's 14. This one is a little bit tricky to read off here. I hope our friends in New South Wales are all staying safe and well. It's getting to be a bit of a horrible time up there for you guys at the moment. What have we had today? 466 cases up there today. Not so good. Yeah, hopefully you're all staying home and trying to stay sane. Maybe a little bit of crafting might help you stay sane. Okay, so I'm just going to cut a piece of white cardstock. Now this can really be any piece of scrap cardstock that you like that will go underneath the layers of your napkin. I'm just using white because there is white in this pattern. I want that to really stay bright. If I was to use a darker piece of cardstock, it will start to dull it. But you can play around with different colours, and I'll do that in a moment once I separate out that napkin. So we'll just cut this background card down. So we're going to go to 127 millimeters by 85. So for those playing at home, that is just giving us a perfect base and border for an A6 sized card. So for the ones that came in your Crafternoon box, if you're using the 5x7 cards that come in the card of the month kit, you'll want to go a bit bigger. So I normally just cut it down by 1/2 inch and then by 1/4 inch on your 5x7 dimensions to get your 2 panels. Okay, so once we've got those, and I've got my A6 card, and I'm just going to fold that in half. Oh, Miss Reagan's going to play with her cricket later. Yeah, Reagan just had a birthday very recently and got a lovely cricket joy. So now we can craft together. I don't know that she's made much yet. You'll have to let me know. Footage is a little bit fuzzy, is it, Tony? Hang on. Anybody else got fuzzy footage today? Let me see if I can trick this into coming back down. Refocus. Let's see. Hopefully that's helped it out there, Tony. Excellent. All right, well, we'll keep plodding along. We'll see how we go. Hopefully it's cleared up for you there. Okay, so with your paper napkin, once we open it out, and I'm just going to pop it white side up for the moment, you'll be able to take one of the corners, and it might take a little bit of messing around, a little bit like when I play with the backing papers on my double-sided tape. But these are 3-ply napkins, so you should find that it will separate into these 3. Now the 2 white pieces may come off as one for you, but just see how you go. So you can see I've got the 3 pieces there. So I'm just going to take the 2 white layers. I'm just going to hold down the blue, nice pretty layer. I'm just going to gently peel these back. Now what you'll find is what's holding the layers of the napkin together are the indentations that they've made in the imprint that goes in the border around the edge. So you just need to carefully peel those. There's no glue or anything. It's literally just that they've punched holes through the 3 layers and it just grips it together. So you won't really need to do much work in the middle. It's just your border edges. So if you just gently peel that back. Spin it around, keep going. Oh, it was clearer when the card was closer to the camera. Yeah, that happens a lot. Okay, let me see. I'll see if I can tap that and see if it'll refocus down to there. How does that go? We'll see. See what it does. Silly iPhone. It's about time to get a camera to go up there. See how it goes. Oh, I love it when it decides to keep the little sunshine on. Alrighty, so that's the 2 white layers that have come apart. Now you'll see on one of the white layers, the one that was closest to the blue, you'll actually have on this napkin, this doesn't happen every time, but there's actually a little light pattern. And I popped that onto a piece of card earlier just because I thought that might also be a way to keep using some more paper. But it's a nice gentle little background pattern. It doesn't really look like much, but it might be something that we can use. You know, I always like to try and just see what else I can use up out of it rather than throwing things away. And then we can just go ahead and separate these 2 if you did want to use this little patterned one. And again, you can use the plain white one, the plain white layer, because it does have this little perforated pattern in it, so it's a bit like a little lacy border. You can use that in your crafting as well. So whether or not you keep it fairly smooth and intact, or you can kind of rough it up and layer it up a little bit just to give a background a little bit of texture, and that wouldn't hurt to have a bit of watercolour or something like that over it as well, just for a little bit of interest. So you can separate all of these and you can use all 3 layers to do all different kinds of techniques and backgrounds, but we might revisit this technique a little later in the month and do some extra ones. So now I've got one piece that is just that little light pattern, and I've got one piece here. Oops, not that I can fold straight. I'm just trying to fold it back the way the original one went, that has that little kind of lacy type edge border. So we can use those for another project. Keep that saved. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is pop our little border out of the way, is work out which part of the pattern that we want to use on our card. Now I'm going to be a little bit weird on this one, and I'm going to take a section right from the middle, just because I'm going to do a landscape card for the example today and make it just a little bit different. But you can see the section that I cut out earlier today was this section just with the big flower. Does anyone know what kind of flower they are? It kind of looks a bit like a peony maybe to me. But you can cut that. Now I'll show you what happens when you do. So we've got the white cardstock under, and you can see the difference and how it makes that clearer section kind of pop. But I'll also pop a bit of this lighter blue under, because you can see how you can get a slightly different effect under that. So if you've got any white or clear in your napkin designs, you can start to play around with a different background colour to kind of give it different looks and different feels. Just a little tip for you. Get all of these bits back out from underneath that little guy. Okay, so I'm going to take a section out of my napkin. So I'm just going to pop this on top and just kind of get a rough idea of where I'm going to want to cut. And unfortunately, I'm going to sacrifice quite a bit of this napkin just for the tutorial today. But by all means, you could cut 4 or 6 of these sizes out of one napkin. You can always use this for a decoration on a belly band or something like that later on down the track. Got my mat wobbling around all over the place. And if you've got any questions throughout the tutorial, just pop them into the comments and I will get to them as soon as I see them and look away from the screen. Looks like we've got a few extras joining us on Facebook today. Hi guys. What have we got in there? What did I just see? We've got Sandy and Sandra and Cheryl and Effie. Hi everybody. Thanks for joining us. If you're not sure what this is all about, this is the Crafternoon Box. So we supply a monthly kit to all of our subscribers, and then we do 4 tutorials similar to this one where we go through different techniques to make different projects and things like that. So by all means, join us if you want to have a look at the Crafternoon boxes. They are on our website with all of our other craft supplies at papercraftingaustralia.com. Sharon said, might look nice over an ink blended background. Yeah, I think it would need to, I mean, for this particular pattern, Sharon, it might need to be a fairly strong ink blended background, but you certainly could. Would be well worth it. Okay, so all I'm going to do is just take the lid off my Mod Podge. You can use PVA glue or any, whoops, that little bit gets stuck all the time. PVA or any other white or clear type of glue, craft glue. I'm going to grab that bit that's all in that lid because why not? Plonk. This is why we have the craft mat down. So I'm going to take a fairly generous amount and I'm just going to apply it all the way over that cardstock. We need a little bit more. Just make sure you're getting it right to the edges. Now the bigger the brush you've got, the quicker you can do this and the faster you can get to putting your layer on without it all drying on you. All right. So I'm just going to work fairly quickly. I'm going to take this napkin, serviette paper, and I'm just going to lay that gently on top. Because I've got a fold in here, I'm just going to try and get that from the middle and just smooth that out towards the edges. You might get a couple of little wrinkles in it here and there. It's no big deal. It's all part of the fun and the pattern. So just press that down. Make sure you're going all the way to the edges. So you've got that all glued down. And now I'm just going to flip that over and leave it aside. I'm going to just give this mat a little wipe. Oops. Put my lid back on my Mod Podge so it doesn't dry out. And I'm going to grab, the great thing about these silicone mats is that it allows you to work with wet mediums, so ink or glues or anything like that. And it's going to stay wet, and if it dries on it, it's going to wipe off really easily. So I'm just going to use just a little baby wipe just to clean up my mess. So it just wipes off really easily. And if you've gone and smushed an ink pad on so you can do some ink blending or some watercolouring, you'll find that it's nice and quick and easy to wipe off with either a baby wipe or a damp cloth, and then just give it a quick dry with a microfiber or paper towel, whatever you use in your craft room, and it's ready to go again. Okay. So with this piece I am done. I'm going to leave my craft mat here for today just because it's there. Why not? So I'll leave that there. This one I'm just going to let dry. You can hit that with a heat tool, but while we're waiting for that to do its thing, I'm going to show you how to do the foiling. So this month in your kits, I threw in as a bit of an extra a bunch of these little greetings. So we've got some different sizes. So realistically, I've cut the smaller size is perfect for going onto a portrait card, an A6 size portrait card. It's not to say that you can't do it on the landscape way as well, but it will fit within your card panel. And then the larger ones are for your 5x7 cards or for landscape on an A6 if you wanted. So that's kind of the sizing that we worked with this month. So these are the sentiments that we popped in. So we put thank you, happy birthday. I've got with sympathy and birthday wishes. Of course, you can mix and match. I don't know how many of these would mix and match particularly well. Happy birthday, I don't know, probably, Oh no, here it is. It's over here on my desk. And birthday wishes there. So we gave you the four greetings in different sizes. Now these have been printed in laser print. So it's a toner-based ink. And what that allows it to do is you can, with this new product that we've got in our store, so it's Go Press and Foil, it's a heat activated foil, and you've probably seen it, there's lots of different brands around, but we're now carrying, I think I've opened it from the bottom, carrying this in our store. It's, I think they're $4.50 for a roll, and it's 5 meters long. So 125 mil wide, so you can get your larger sentiments in that. But all we want to do, I'm going to go with the big thank you one today. And with this, there comes somewhat a fair bit of wastage. So I'm just going to measure just enough to be able to cover that word. Now, if you can't find yours or you haven't seen your foil in your box, it will be inside one of your envelopes. So check inside one of your white envelopes. One of the four will have some of this foil in it, just in case you haven't found that. All right, so I've just cut a small piece off there. I've heated up my laminator. And what we're going to do, I'm going to grab just a small piece of, well, it's not a small piece, it's an A4 piece of just photocopy paper, just regular. I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, and what we're going to do is place our greeting in there. Just going to pop the foil good side up. So what's going to happen is that toner that has been put down on the cardstock in the laser printer actually will bond the foil and the metallic part on the back to that cardstock. And when you peel, pop it through the laminator, peel this off, it's going to leave the blue foil on those black areas, and then the white areas should stay mostly mostly white, and you shouldn't get too much of the residue. You will get a little bit, and I'll show you how to clean that up. So I'm just going to bring my laminator over here. Now this is not a fancy laminator, it's just I've heated it up. It's just from Officeworks, a little cheap one. So I'm just going to pop that in and let it run through. So that's been on heat since we started, 20 minutes ago. You found it, Tony? Excellent. Yeah, so getting it through. But happy to find out for the next kit if you would like some more of these sentiments or greetings, and if so, what would you like them to say? And let me know if you like the smaller ones or the bigger ones, or you think that it works good to have both options. They were certainly a lot of fun to make and get to the right sizes, and of course there's 4 million sizes that you could make, but just trying to make one was good. Alrighty, I'm going to pop that over there. I'm just going to leave it on just in case this needs another hit, but if we peel back the white paper, and you should be able to see that obviously with the pressure of the rollers you can see how it's kind of melded onto the sentiment. And if you just peel it back, you'll notice there's a fair bit of extra toner there. So it's grabbed onto the black sections, but you can also see there's quite a bit that's sitting off on the white parts. So that's just some excess toner that's gone through when we've printed them, and now we need to clean them up a little bit. Depending on your aesthetic, you might like that grungy type look, which is totally fine. Now, if you have cut your piece a little bit big, or you've got some small things in laser print that you want to, you can actually go back in and reuse some of these sections that have got the blue still on them. Obviously, where it's not got any blue, there's no foil left. So this comes in so many colours, it's not funny. So we've got a couple that we brought in on sample. So we had some green, some purple, the blue, an iridescent silver, and a rainbow. I'll show you the rainbow one because I think, I don't know, there might be quite a few of you that really love rainbows. And I think this would look so good across the greeting. You can just imagine, just having the colour change go across that word. That would be really fun. So deco foil, if there's colours in there, which obviously we don't have all of the colours available at the moment, but if there's colours in there, we'll be putting in an order this week. So if there's something that you really want, drop us a line and we'll make sure we include that in there and update the stock so that you can purchase that on the website. So to clean this up, I have used both a regular eraser, so just your normal rubber type eraser, and you can just give it a little bit of a rub with that. It works better for some smaller areas. This one's got quite a bit of extra on it, so I'm actually going to use the Mono Sand Eraser by Tombow, and it's excuse me, it's just got a little bit of a grit in it, which helps to lift things off. You could also use one of those fancy little battery operated cleanup tools to just clean those up. So what you want to do is just be careful that you're not going onto the main section of your foiling, because you don't want to lift all of that up. You can go fairly close and it'll clean quite nicely. So unfortunately I've got quite a bit of cleanup on this one. So how have our weeks been? Good. My day job's kind of quietened down a little bit at the moment, so we're in between the intakes for TAFE courses at the moment. So semester 2's just started, and we've got applications coming in for term 4, but they haven't really gone crazy just yet. So they're happening. So it's a little bit quieter, which is nice. We get a little bit of breathing space. We finally had a quote for our retaining walls for our front garden. So that's exciting, because once the retaining walls are in, we can fill it up with dirt and then get the developer to come and do the landscaping, because that's part of our contract with the developer. So that's good. They'll come in and plant and mulch and put paving stones and rocks and things down. So yeah, that's what's up with my week. What's up with yours? Alrighty, clean this up, Tangy. Let's go. A little bit more here. I'm going to end up with a little bit in places that I don't really want it, but I mean, the other thing you could do is go over it with a glittery pen and give it a little bit of a shimmer or a shine, and then you probably won't notice that there's a couple of little blue stray flecks here and there. I'm just doing a fairly rough cleanup. I don't mind the look with a little bit of extra, I think the foil kind of speaks for itself. And a little bit of extra flyaways. Just make it look a little bit less machine produced. We don't all want the same card. It's not as special getting a card that 25,000 other people have gotten around the world. These ones are unique. There we go. So I've cleaned that up fairly well. So it's not too hard. Doesn't take too long. Auntie Tangy, where do you find ideas for these videos? Oh, Reagan, I find them all over the place. There are lots of photos on Pinterest that I see. I think, oh, that's a nice idea. I might have a look at that. And sometimes it's just, I've walked through Spotlight and seen some really nice paper napkins, and I think, oh, that'll be really nice. I'll see what I can do with that. And then you just have a play, and away you go. Bit like what you do. Okay, so I've got my greeting. I can pop my little scrap of foil away. This is dried now, so my napkin is now nice and dry. I don't have any wet glue. So I'm just going to take my paper scissors and just trim along the edge of these panels. Miss Reagan, have you got any party serviettes or napkins in your pantry? I reckon your mum might have a few left over from parties or Christmas. You could make one with a party napkin. I'm going to watch you start collecting things now that we've created a monster. Reagan will be collecting bits of paper from all over the place. You unwrap a present now and you keep the wrapping paper because you never know what you can do with it. We just find inspiration from everywhere. Just trimming those bits nice and close. Of course, if you prefer to use a paper trim for this, you certainly can. Just make sure that your glue is 100% dry before you start trying to cut that down. So yeah, that's my little background panel. So we'll just start popping some things together. So I'm just going to get my blueberry weave cardstock. I'm just going to pop double-sided tape on the back side, which is the non-woven side, or the one that's got the least amount of weave texture in it, just because I want that that weave pattern showing right side up. A little bit on the sides here. Reagan's already keeping stock of paper. That's good, girl. What else should we suggest to what other suggestions have you guys got for an 11-year-old crafter who is mad keen and super talented? What other things should they have in their little stash? She's got lots of tools and tape, and she's got lots of nice pens and textures for her birthday. What can we suggest? What have I just seen? Did I just see Ollie come in? Hey, Ollie. No, that's the benefit of the replays, Ollie. You can go back and watch later on. And Miss Linda's here too. Hi, Linda. Got some of our usuals, and it looks like quite a lot of new people. So welcome and thank you for joining us. Thanks for finding us. Let us know how you found us. Actually, that's super interesting all the time. So I'm just laying down so you can see I've got to make my border even. I kind of try and line up by twisting or pulling up the top left and the bottom right corners of my cardstock, and just lining up the top right and the bottom left. So once they're in position, I can pretty much then lay everything down. So people often ask me, how do you get your borders relatively straight? They're never perfect. That's how I do mine. So then we've got this, got my little sentiment to go down, or my greeting. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab some of this paper raffia, just something I've got laying around. I think you guys might still have some left from some kits from a while ago. So if you have, dig it out. It looks good on this project. Just going to cut 2 sections of that. Now before I glue this panel down, I'm actually going to pop my raffia onto this panel. And to do that, I'm just going to pop my tape on the side edges. So it's going to go there anyway to hold that panel down. Pop that down. I will do my other sides as well, but I'm just not going to unpeel the long sides just yet. And just expose the 2 short sides for if you're doing a landscape style card. Just going to hold this on roughly where I want it on the front, and I'm just going to bend that around, and obviously I've got the adhesive on the back, so I can just push that around and stick it down. And the same with that one. Just moving. It is really fun. I like this one. So once I've got those stuck down, then I can peel back the other two tabs, the backing papers. Alrighty. And then again, just lining up top right corner and bottom left corner, twisting my card so that I can see where we are. Give that little push down. Okay, and then I've got my little greeting there. You know I love to add the dimension with the double-sided foam tape. So I'm going to run a decent chunk down there. I might have to cut this into a couple of pieces because there's a couple of little sections where that will kind of technically stick through, but you can't really tell. And I'll just put, because these greetings have got quite a few long extended pop-up bits, particularly on the larger size ones. I'm just going to pop a few little tabs on the little hangy down bits and the sticky up bits. There is a technical word for those. If anyone can tell me what that word is, if anyone's a graphic designer, they will know. There is a specific word for the shape, the letter parts of the letters that hang down below the main line and the ones that go up above the middle. Give you extra points if you know what that is. I reckon you've just figured out that you can't put photos on the YouTube feed. No, you can't. But you can post them. You can post them in Skype. You can, if you've got a picture of a project that you've done, you can post it onto our Papercrafting Australia Facebook page, which we love to see all the finished projects and ideas that people have got for their things and share them on Facebook. What else have we got? Oh, you're making this for Father's Day. Oh, I hope Dad's not watching. He's probably not. He's probably in the shed doing 3D printing or something. Excellent. All right, here we go. Get the last little sticky bit off. See if I can line that up somewhat straight. Bit like that. And now I'm just going to find a couple of cute little sequins that came in our kit. So as I said before, there's lots of different colours and shapes and sizes. So we've got these ones that are clear and they've got a bit of a blue tinge. We've got some lighter blue. We've got some with holographic in it. Some that are a bit darker, like a black oil slick almost. I've got some peacock type colour ones. All kinds in there. I just wanted us to have options. You can never have too many options, am I right? Cool. All right, I reckon that's my selection for today. Now with this, I'm going to use my glue pen just to pop a couple on in some strategic kind of places. 3 down there and 3 up here, I think. And I'll just stick them down. I like to make the glue squish up in the hole in the middle, just so that I know that that's going to kind of grab and form a little bit of a, it's almost like a little button on top to stop my sequins from getting flipped off. You can get the sequins that are completely flat. They are harder to find and more expensive than the regular sequins. So if you've got some, well done. But you can use any colour, you can use any style of sequin that you have. It's totally fine, just embellish it how you see fit. Right, so I'm nearly done. So if you've got any questions about anything that we've done there today, pop them in the chat so that I can answer them before we finish up for the day. Oops, I've just made a mess of that one. Okay, all good. So quite a bit of bling on that one by the time you have a foiled greeting, but interesting to use the paper napkin as a background. It's nice to use up those extra loose ones that you have, because you'll buy a pack of 10 or 20 and you'll have 7 people over for dinner and you'll have 2 left at the end because you'll use 8 out of 10. So yeah, just a good way to use those, and it doesn't necessarily need to really mean anything. It's just a background. So that's the tutorial for today. For those who haven't joined us before, there will be another tutorial again next Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Next Saturday. What am I on about? Oh gosh. Let me switch cameras. That's what I was trying to do, and I was saying Tuesday instead of Saturday. But anyway, we'll be back on Saturday. I'm just going to have a quick double check to make sure that we've not got any other questions. I don't think we do. But Ollie, I think you're referring to glitter being something that an 11-year-old should have in their craft kit, and I agree. We should all have some glitter in our craft kits. But we will be back again next Saturday at 2 o'clock for another tutorial, and then the following Saturday for 2 tutorials. Whoops. My water glass. So that'll be at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock on the last Saturday of August. So the schedule gets put up on our Papercrafting Australia Facebook page in the header at the start of the month. So all the times are listed there. We generally list the events the day of, just in the morning. So if you're wanting to, come back and join us, by all means, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can be notified half an hour before we go live. And you can also like this video if you've loved the tutorial, and leave a comment or post a photo of your finished work once you're done. So we love sharing and seeing what you're all doing, but thank you once again for joining us. I'm off to get a COVID test. Happy days. I hope you're all staying safe and well, and I will see you again next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye.